welcome. My name is Jocelyn and today we have Shop My Stash for the month of July. I believe I'm going to be pulling in quite a few new things for the month of July to use, which is very exciting, obviously. If you're not familiar with what Shop My Stash is where I go through my entire makeup collection that usually is in the Alex drawers behind me, and I pull new things to use for the month. Not all new things, because there's some things that just stay in my beauty box that you'll see at the end of the video, and there's also quite a few project pan items that I leave out so that I can, you know, project pan them. But there are quite a few new things that I would like to dip into and circulate through in my collection. This makes sure that I have hands on usually everything in my collection at least once a year. Make sure that nothing gets stale or goes unused for too long a period of time. And it's just fun. I like doing it. So without further ado, I guess let's go ahead and just jump on into my makeup collection. All right, so in this first drawer, we have my foundations, concealers, primers, and powders. I am gonna be pulling in two new foundations. Well, actually first, I'm gonna be pulling in this BB cream. This is brand new to me. I got it at Ulta with a gift card I got for my birthday. I've been wanting to try out more BB creams, so I decided to pick this one up. This is, of course, by CoverGirl. It is their Clean Matte BB cream for oily skin. I do have very oily skin, and it is in the shade 510 Fair. So we'll see. I've been opting for more lighter coverage kind of things lately, so decided to pick this up and we're gonna give it a try. I'm also gonna bring in this right here. This is the Empowered Hydrogel Foundation in the shade Light Neutral. So this is a very nice, kind of light coverage, hydrating kind of foundation, which usually wouldn't be so good on my skin, but I've been finding that I really like foundations like that lately, especially during the summer. I want something that looks a little bit more comfortable on the skin, less heavy. So we're gonna pull those two things in. And I don't think I'm gonna bring in any concealers. And do I want to bring any? No, I think I'm going to go ahead and just stick with the primer that I have out right now. But I do need a new powder, and I think I'm going to bring in this Hourglass powder. It's been a while since I have used it. I think that I've already used this Too Faced one recently, and then I was using a Becca powder. But it's been a while since I've used this. This is the Hourglass Veiled Translucent Setting Powder. And I think I got this around Christmas time of last year, so it's still decently new to my collection, but it's been a while since I've used it. So we're gonna go ahead and bring this in, and that's actually gonna do it for this drawer. Alright, so next drawer down we have my highlights, blushes, bronzers, and face palettes. I'm currently using the Becca Jaclyn Hill face palette, so I don't think I'll bring any new palettes in. But let's see, and I don't believe I need any kind of bronzer or contour shade. I might need a blush though. I'm also not going to bring any highlights in because I'm trying to pan a couple highlights. So let's see, we do want to bring a blush in. What do I want? I think I'm going to go ahead and bring in this Hourglass blush. This is in the shade Mood Exposure. It's just a really nice peachy toned blush. I've got a few blushes in the Jaclyn Hill face palette, but those are all very shimmery, so I'm gonna opt for something that's a little less shimmery. Usually these blushes are, well, there's no shimmer in here. There's no shimmer, there's no glitter, so this should be a good complement to that face palette. And is that it? I think, is that gonna be enough? I'm actually gonna go ahead and bring this Morphe palette in. I got this from Octoly. I think it was the end of last year, so it was more of the winter colder weather, less of the warm weather, and this is a very warm weather palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this in. I'm actually pretty excited to use this. I think I could definitely get some use out of some of these. So okay, that's gonna do it for blushes. Again, I don't need any bronzer or contour shades, not gonna pull any highlighters in, so that does it for this drawer. Alright, on to the palette drawer. If you are familiar with my channel at all, then you'll notice the big elephant in this drawer, the brand new baby in here, which is the ColourPop palette. This is actually a Z palette with a bunch of singles inside of it, but they were running a major special on these shadows. I've been wanting to get more single colorful shadows into my collection for a while now, and I couldn't pass this up. I love ColourPop single shadows. I've been wanting more colorful shades in my collection. It just was the absolute perfect storm. So this is what the palette looks like. As you can see, this is a lot of colors. a lot of really beautiful colors. I mean, we have a black. I don't have a single black yet, a single white yet. We do have some nice neutral colors in here. I'm totally fine with that. And a lot of colorful shades in here. This is, I think, called the Rainbow Land palette on their site. The last time I was on there, it was still available for $40. So you get a bunch, I think it's 42 shades in here for $40, which is an incredible deal. Usually every single one of these shades is $5. So this is a great deal. I'm really excited to have this, and definitely gonna bring this in to use for the next month. And maybe I'll do a palette bingo with this. I think that could be really fun. But this was such a good steal from the ColourPop website, and I'm so excited that I have it. There are so many beautiful shades in here. A lot of really nice mattes in here, some really beautiful shimmers in here. Like we have this one, this one, this one, and this one. So definitely gonna bring this in. Very excited to use that. They sent me an extra one of these shades. This is the shade Backstage. It's the dark blue matte shade, so I need to figure out what to do with this. Maybe I'll give it to a friend. Let's see, what do I have out? Ooh. Okay, I think I'm gonna bring the Sassy Siennas in. This is the Dose of Color, one of their 5-pan palettes, and I kind of feel like I want to bring the Huda Beauty palette in also. This is the Coral Obsessions palette. Now, for a long time, I didn't consider Huda Beauty cruelty-free because she sold mink lashes on her website, but those are gone, and I haven't seen them for a while. I mean, maybe by the time this video goes up, they will be back on her website. I don't know. Does anybody know if she went away with those? Because other than that, she was considered cruelty-free, but because she sold those, I didn't personally deem her as cruelty-free, and I know a lot of other people didn't. So if you know if those are gone forever, if you've seen somewhere, let me know down in the comments below. But I do own this. I did own this before I found out about those mink lashes, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring both of these in because it's definitely warm weather. Warm toned eyeshadows seem very appropriate. Now let's see, that's a few eyeshadow palettes. I kind of feel like I should bring one more in. Seem to be leaning towards more pinky toned shades. But do I choose the Give It To Me Straight palette or do I choose the Naked Cherry palette? I'm gonna go for the Naked Cherry just because there's still a lot of warm toned shades in the Give It To Me Straight palette, and I just pulled those other warm toned palettes. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring the Naked Cherry just because it's got more pinky tone shades in it. All right, and with that being said, I think that's gonna wrap up this drawer, and let's move on to some lip products. All right, so first and foremost here, we have my single shadow drawer in my Muji drawer system. The ColourPop shadows I'm kind of going through in a project pan, but I've got a couple single shadows over here. And I was waiting for a more warmer month to pull this in. This is the NARS Duo, and it has a gold shade in here as well as a more bronzy shade in here. It's in the shade Isold, I think. Isold. I never remember. People tell me, I forget. That's just the way it goes, but that's how it's spelled. I know I brought a bunch of warm tone shades in already, but this is one that I've been wanting to pull in to get some use out of, so we're gonna go ahead and take care of that. And I kind of want to bring this in. Let me swatch this real fast. That is such a cool shade. Look at that. Can you kind of see the shimmer in that? I'm gonna go ahead and bring this in too. This is the NYX shadow in the shade Fireball. It's such a cool color. So pretty. Okay, and that's gonna be it with this drawer. All right, next drawer down, we have some more single shadows, and then we have a bunch of lip products. I am gonna pull some of these in. I think the first one I'm gonna bring in is this Sephora lipstick. This is in the shade 00, and it is a nice dark warm toned shade. I actually really like this formula and this color, so we're going to bring that one in. And then I'm also going to bring in Eurotrash. This is a shade by NYX. It is one of their matte lipsticks, and this one is a little bit more neutral. It is still a warm toned shade, but again, it is more neutral. I'm going to bring those in, and I think that's actually gonna do it for this drawer. All right, next we have this drawer. This one's got a lot of liquid lipsticks in it, and I think I want to bring in this Stila liquid lipstick. This is in the shade Forense. It's a nice warm tone neutral shade. And then I think I'll bring in, I'm gonna bring in this Kat Von D liquid lipstick. I think this is either Lolita
or Lolita too. I'm not totally sure, but this one's getting a little bit older in my collection, so I'm gonna bring this one in too. And I think that's gonna do it for this drawer. And that's actually gonna do it. So let me fill up my beauty box and then I'll show you what I'm gonna be using for the month of July. All right, so here is my beauty box all filled up. In the top here, we have all of my lip picks as well as single shadows. So all of the new lip picks I think are in just kind of this section right here. And then we have that NYX shadow that I pulled in as well as the NARS shadow. The other things you see in here are either rollovers from last month or Project Pan items or special eyeshadows like these two right here. So that is this first drawer. Next drawer down, we have more special eyeshadows. So these are all the Zodiac pigments in here. We got one flipped over. There we go, that's better. We got some Kaja shadows, Tarte shadow, L'Oreal. This is in a Project Pan, an Hourglass shadow, more Kaja shadows right here. Over here we have where I keep my mascaras, my brow pomade, tweezers, just kind of miscellaneous necessities over here. So nothing I think changed in this drawer. Moving downward, we have some new things in this section over here. So we have the BB cream that we pulled in and the Tarte foundation. This Kat Von D foundation is in a Project Pan. And then I have a concealer by Bare Minerals that I've been using, as well as the Smashbox Photo Finish Smooth and Blur primer. So those are all rollovers. Over here we have a Kevyn Aucoin highlighter that I've been using. That one's not in a Project Pan, but these two highlighters are in Project Pan. So the ColourPop Super Shock highlighter in the shade On the Cusp, and then the Too Faced Love Light highlighter in the shade Blinded by the Light. So both of these are in Project Pans. And then finally, this drawer down here is kind of bare, but this is where I have my MAC Fix Plus liquid that I'm just kind of trying to use up, in Urban Decay setting spray, ColourPop No Filter powder, which is in a Project Pan, and then these two things we just pulled in. So the blush by Hourglass and the powder by Hourglass. And before we wrap up, let me show you what the palette organizer looks like. All right, so here we have my palette organizer. We have the two warm tone palettes up here, so the Huda Beauty and the Dose of Colors. We have the Naked Cherry right behind that. This is in a Project Pan, this is in a Project Pan, and these two are in a Project Pan. So there's a ColourPop Disney, Kat Von D Shade and Light, Naked 3, and Too Faced Natural Eyes palette. And then moving backwards, we have the Jaclyn Becca face palette that I've been using, the Morphe palette that we pulled in, the ColourPop Rainbow Land palette, I believe is what it is, with all the single shadows, and then my Curated Z palette back here in the back. And there you go.
All right, and there you have it. Those are all of my picks for the month of July. I'm very excited to use some of these things. I have been itching to use some of the palettes that I pulled in for this month, so I'm very, very excited. If you saw anything you would like further information on, or that you would like me to use in some kind of tutorial, or get ready with me, or palette bingo, please let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts and your opinions. But I think that's everything. So if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to subscribe for more content from me, don't forget to do so before you go. All buttons are down below. And I think that's everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.